y'all for tuning back in to your favorite channel. Pelican Bay Kennel is giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button before you get up out of here. Don't forget to drop down in the comments. Big salute to the dog lovers from one side of the country to the other side, from one side of the world to the other side. You know, we got some dog talk for the day. Salute to my brothers and sisters down in the chat and the brothers and sisters that was in the chat before the video dropped. You know, we got some dog talk today. First, like I always say, when I jump off the porch, I like to jump straight in that grease. You know, straight off the stove in that grease. Brother asked me about the true Jocko breeding. To speak on the true Jocko breeding. Now, I don't know which Jocko you're speaking on, but I'm talking about Chavis Jocko. That's what I'm thinking you're talking about. Me, myself, I don't know no other breeding besides the breeding that, that's on the list when it comes to Chavis Jocko. If you know anything about Chavis Jocko other breeding, then you could come up here and enlighten us on it. But I don't want to go off of fantasy stories and stuff that don't make no sense and stuff that's not real just to put it on TV, just to get it in these brothers' ears, and it's not even real, But I'm not discrediting what you asked me because you may know more than what I do on that particular situation. Now, all I heard about when it come to Jocko and, his offspring or even his siblings was about the apples and pearls situation, But other than that, I really haven't heard anything about Jocko being off something that they said he wasn't, But like I said, you're always welcome to come up here and tell your true or what you heard or what's what. If you know it's fake, don't come with it, But if it's something that that you heard in the dog community throughout the years, give us the story. I wouldn't mind hearing it. Wouldn't mind hearing it. Brother asked me to speak on the T. Walker blood. Now, I will speak on this and say, I always tell you, if I haven't dealt with a dog or had any of the dogs, I don't like to speak bad on stuff that I haven't dealt with. What I will say is the T. Walker stuff is a Balls bred line of dogs. I'm talking about bred, great Balls bred dogs with the Cherokee stuff in it, the bold action, all the Balls dogs, great Balls stuff. The brother T. Walker had a vision and a plan that he executed when he was breeding them dogs. You can look at the pedigrees and how he bred them. You can't tell why he bred them, like I always say, but you can look at the pedigrees and see that he had some sort of vision and a plan, and he went through with it. His dogs are bred great. We was looking at the Cooney dog specifically. The Cooney dog, greatly bred dog, has a little, it's balls, little bit of bolio, and just a splash of Jeep and Red Boy I seen up in there. Just a splash of Jeep and Red Boy up in there. But I looked at online pairs. He didn't have any champions in his offspring, which means not a thing. Don't mean one thing at all. A lot of brothers don't deal with online pairs, and I see why. But had about a small offspring list as well. Went about 40 some dogs. It really don't mean nothing either. Really don't mean nothing, because I know dogs that did a lot of great producing in this game, and they got less dogs in the offspring, list than that. But I did see one dog that I checked in his that was in his pair, which was Cougar Man. The dog Cougar Man, which was another great bred Balls dog, or great bred T. Walker dog. Coming down off the ball stuff rather. So anybody who pretty much got a modern day dog that's T. Walker all the way through, then you're going to have a Balls dog pretty much all the way through, maybe have a touch of this or a touch of that, whatever a little sauce that he was adding into it. Now if you got a Balls line of dogs coming from, say 50% coming from another line of dogs, but straight Balls, and then you got the bottom side is all T. Walker, then it's still going to be all Balls. It's just going to be from two different family of Balls breeders, And like I say, I heard a lot of great stuff about them Balls dogs. I think they're a group of dogs that stood the test of time as well. It just is what it is, man. I don't really know a whole bunch about the T. Walker stuff. I did hear about the T. Walker breed, guy a while back before, but I never really had any of the dogs, so I refuse to say anything bad about them. But I will say, we're gonna keep this thing going. Big salute, shout out to Down South Bottom Kennel with the dog show coming up, I think May 18th. Big salute to Samurai Kennel with the digital dog show coming up. Big salute out to all the contestants, like I always say. It's your boy PBK9's giving it to you like I always do, fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it, some ain't, man. Let's keep this thing moving. Any confirmation or event champion starts at the bottom of the ladder. Exercise and bonding creates trust, confidence, and a healthy puppy. How confident are you really about that dog on the end of your leash? This is Velvet Ears and Mellow Yellow 2. Velvet Ears is a Fletcher, which is Mellow Yellow, little mate brother. Born alone, 2 weeks after little Mellow Yellow, Velvet Ears will be one tough cookie as she battled the bigger puppies in the puppy pen for her respect. Just like the litter Mellow Yellow was born from, I kept the smallest puppy off her litter, as I did before. Not the runt, but just a smaller dog out the pack. Little Mellow Yellow, or Mellow Yellow 2, has high standards to uphold. She has the weight of the Big John, Little John line on her shoulders. My line is based off two half-brothers that could easily start the convo about who was the best. Boomer and Buck add their special sauce to the strain, ensuring that these pups pack and carry traits from some of the best lines in history. Building a strong pup that is healthy and confident is the first step in winning. Standing out from the crowd is the second part, which means you can't leave that pup to grow up on a chain. Why do you think dog men always say the dog can smell fear on his owner as he stepped over a box or any event he went to? It comes from knowing your hound and your hound knowing you. It's been proven that puppies that get adequate exercise grow faster than those contained in one area for most of their life. You can walk up to any man and his dog and tell if he was raised from a pup with a lot of attention or chain raised him. It's not the aggression that one might argue the dog still retains even after being on the chain his whole life. It's the emotional connection, the way your dog acts towards you as an owner. You see your good acting dog on a leash, and then you see the dog that gets super excited when his owner calls his name. Oh yes, this means dogs actually knows his or her name. Many dogs don't really know their name because of the lack and absence of a true bond. True dog men are harder to find than a good game dog, and people rarely include their doings in the final results of their hound. It's always that dog wasn't bred good or the breeding didn't click, when in actuality, you didn't quite understand the formula to building up an A-class dog. Victor or the highest quality food doesn't react the same way in your dog or pup that doesn't get proper exercise. Proper socialization of a pup are the proteins and building blocks for a champion. Pit bulls are working dogs and work just as hard as any herding dog. The dogs that we call pit bulls are special and need a special kind of person, just like the Presser Canary need a special kind of person. Now, let's speak a little bit about the Rattler stuff. I'm going to speak on the Rattler stuff, and I'm going to speak on Hacksaw as well. But when it comes to the Rattler stuff and them dogs stood the test of time, just as the Red Boy, the Jeep, your Bolio, or anything else. That Big John, Little John line of dogs have stood the test of time, just as all the rest of them dogs. And when it comes to standing the test of time, it's not about oh, you bred them dogs on your yard for 20 years, you didn't really sell any dogs at all. That's not standing the test of time. Standing the test of time is when you take them dogs, you put them into the public hand. The public either gonna like them or they don't like them. But over a period of time, if they don't stand the test of time, they disappear. All the dogs that didn't stand the test of time, they gone. They disappeared, and you see them in the people pedigrees here and there, scattered all out. And you see one dog of this and one dog of that and one of this and one of that. They didn't stand the test of time. Brothers didn't feel the need to keep breeding and inbreeding and line breeding them particular dogs, whatever that strain of dogs is. And when it comes to the Rattler stuff, or the Big John, Little John, them stuff, them dogs stood the test of time. Now, when we speaking on Rattler, I want to ask, because a lot of brothers, like I said before, only know Rattler, Little Thunder, some know Split is, Buddy, Quick, Wrangler, and them dogs for the most part. We always give credit to Buddy. We always give credit to Quick or this dog. What you know about the females? Why we never credit the females? Maybe this female is the one doing the punching power into these puppies. But the thing about it, different brothers breed different ways. When you're breeding the same on the top as you got on the bottom, you can give the female credit, but at the same time, it's not like, oh, this the red boy getting credit for over the Jeep. The Jeep stuff ain't really showed up in it. The red boy showed up in it hard and it's getting the credit. We talking about a line of dogs that's top and bottom the same, crossed up different ways, but of the same stuff. So while we never credit the females, we know all your famous males. What about Red Storm, Ronda Rousey? Because that's one reason I bred the Hacksaw. Hacksaw was off Buddy and Ronda Rousey. I didn't want to breed the Buddy because everybody had something off Buddy. Everybody had something off Quick. Everybody had something off Wrangler. And some folk had stuff off Johnson. Some folk had stuff off Rattler and Little Thunder scattered out through the country. But I knew they didn't have anything off Hacksaw, which didn't mean Hacksaw was better than Buddy or any of the other ones. It didn't mean he was less than any of the other ones. It just mean that's the route I went because I wanted something different, And I know that line of dogs, and I know that line of dogs carries a gene exactly like the red boy. That gene that passed down into his offspring. You know what I'm saying? That gene that passed down in his offspring, the same gameness and temperament of his father or of his grandfather. You know what I'm saying? The same gameness that is all ones in his pedigrees had. Their lines is known to push it down to the next one. Push it down to the next one. Like the red boy. Push it down to the next one. Because when I say red boy brothers, I think I'm talking about they're the same, or this. Like, I mean the way you handle the red boy dogs. You handle them. They're yard starters. You can cross them any kind of way. It's the same thing I say about that Little John, Big John stuff. You can cross it any kind of way. They're yard starting dogs. And most people only know about the males. They don't know about the females. So that's why we're here to talk about Ronda Rousey, great dog. How about CP and Shakur? A lot of brothers only know about them two females, because they're more famous females. Who would say CP make better puppies than Shakur? Or Shakur made better puppies than CP? I don't know. I'm asking y'all brothers that know them particular lines. I know I have my own opinion. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I'd rather have dogs off CP than Shakur. Had both dogs. I'd rather have them off CP than Shakur. And no brother can get up here and start screaming about he had, or talking all kind of trash about a certain line of dogs, and then I ask you what kind of dogs you had off this. The first thing you scream out is Big John and Shakur. The more popular breeding done with them dogs back in the days. Or a dog coming off Big John, one of Big John's sons in Shakur, Crazy Eyes in Shakur. One of the dogs that was bred probably together their whole life. When it comes to the female was bred to other males as well, but she was bred to Crazy Eyes too, more than one time. And spoke on more than one time, because you hear a breeder speaking on the female, that's the puppies he's selling you, but you don't really know, you didn't do your research on that line of dogs to see what them dogs really throwing, which one's coming out this way, which one's coming out that way. All you know is when you went and bought your puppy, it didn't do what these brothers around here bragging and boasting about. So now you get up there on the channel and then knock another brother line of dogs. And I'm not talking about nobody specific. I'm just talking about how brothers handle the thing in general. You know, you listen to these brothers' stories. You never had a line. You listen to the stories. Then you get a dog and you rush it. You don't give it time, to grow and be a dog. You don't know how. You didn't do your research on that line. You don't know what to expect from that line. And then you just give it a bad name because it ain't do what you wanted to do in the first 3 months or the first 4 to 5 months. Whatever that is, whatever that is. But yeah, man, you got them females on a lot, and not just the Big John, Little John line of dogs. It's all the line of dogs, the Jeep, the Bolio, the this, the that. We give the credit to the male dogs, and we fail to give the females just as much or more credit than the male dogs when it comes to bringing that punch to that litter. Like I said before, bringing that punch to that litter. When it comes to JD, I was given an alley-oop when I was given a healthy puppy. Looking like your typical worm-free, chunky hound dog at 12 weeks. By the time he turned 5 months, JD had doubled in size and he was larger than any of the average pit bulls his age. And just like Kobe or Jordan would do when given the perfect love, I went in for the score. By the time JD turned 12 months, he was 67 pounds solid. On video, JD looks a tad shorter than he actually is in person. He's as tall as your average tall dog with bones like a bully breed. His teeth is the size of half your pinky finger. Paying close attention to his every move, I slowly saw his work drive pick up around the 1.5 year mark. I never cut his weight back as a pup for any shows, competition, or any activities that a young dog would compete in. I let him grow. I wormed him on time. I fed him high-quality dog food as a puppy, but soon switched to a more moderate brand of kibble. At around 20 months, I started cutting back on his weight and got him around the high 50s. If I ever put a bowl of dog food down and he don't eat it all at once, I know he's sick. JD is some of the best Red Boy Jocko Bolio blood blended together to make the perfect storm. Although every day wasn't a sunny day when it came to raising him, I made sure he ate. Now that I look back, JD was a slow maturing dog. He wouldn't pull on a leash when he was a puppy, and he really didn't show me the flirt pole drive as a pup that I would like to see. But as he got a little older, between the 9 to 10 months of age, I started to see him pick up the pace. I would be doing this dog an injustice by dwelling on his pedigree when he can make a name for himself. A lot of brothers only seen Mayday in a book and Barracuda a few times on some old videos, but JD is your modern day Tom Cruise when it comes to the cameras and taking pictures. My dogs are all trained around cameras at a very young age, for if not, they would surely destroy a camera with a sudden urge of curiosity. JD is what the Big John line needs to bring the bone and size back as well as his power, and that can only complement your Buddy, Quick, Wrangler, Little Thunder, and Rattler dogs. Breeding a great acting Jeep female would only be catastrophic for some bulldoggers competing in the show circuit. Today is the first day of his pre-keep, which started with a good worming and a long walk. His energy level is high, and I haven't even begun to work my magic yet. Switching food isn't necessary because the average kibble today compared to the kibble from back in the days is high quality. Breeding JD to a great structure, Fireball, Boudreaux, Eli dog would be unfair to the average dog man, just as crossing him back to Sorrell's blood will be great in that snort and that Rufus stuff. An old family red, even a red devil, or even some of that heavy bred black Chinaman blood would be nice and something to see. I do want to say, when it comes to raising pups, man, some of the most important things is going to be your fresh water and your quality dog food, And when I say quality, I don't mean you got to go buy Victor or you got to go buy some high brand dog food. I mean, whatever food you feeding him consistently, making sure he's not missing meals, making sure he's wormed out is the biggest part of this whole thing. Making sure this dog has all his shots. Making sure this dog, like I said, is wormed out. Getting food every day, whether it's retriever, whether it's pedigree, whether it's Victor, or whatever. Getting dog food, being healthy, making sure he's up to par, just like anything. You can't, no matter what kind of food you get for your dog, if his system not right, the food is not gonna react and not gonna give you the same results that you looked at on TV and that dog was looking at. Or you looked at your homeboy dog getting fed off that. His dog look different than your dog because your dog not healthy as his dog is. You see? Your dog not healthy as his dog. And another thing I want to say, these females that's not healthy throughout their life will not produce healthy puppies. You know what I'm saying? You cannot get a female healthy when she go in heat. You can't neglect that female from the whole time she's around, and then when she go in heat, you start pumping. That don't work that way. That's when you get bullshit puppies. That's when you get puppies that, that die on you. You just get bullshit. Yeah, the bloodline is there, but the health is not there. That's when you get puppies, you have to get blood transfusions. You have to do all kind of stuff because of lack of health problems. Health problems. See, when it comes to health problems, see, I'm glad I touched up on this. When it comes to health problems, a lot of brothers, and they'll use, I don't put my dogs in shows as an excuse. But this the thing, a truly great conformation dog, a dog that's well built, a good structured dog, that dog is that same stuff that helps him in the conformation show helps him in no matter what event he's in. That same thing is going to help him no matter what event he's competing in. So y'all need to stop saying, I'm not worried about this. I'm not in the shows. I'm not worried about how my dog's legs look. Or I'm not worried about how my dog's feet look. I'm not worried about this, or I'm not worried about that because I'm not doing the shows. I agree. If you're not in the shows, you don't have to worry about certain things. You worry about whatever you feel like you need to worry about. But at the same time, dogs that are sound are dogs that last. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean last, I don't necessarily mean in no square or nothing like that. I'm just talking about in general. Dogs that can compete on all levels. You might have a dog that's good in this, but because of some factors of his health and his body, breathing structure, he can't compete in this or this event. You know what I'm saying? It just go that way. And then that goes back to the brothers trying to knock these brothers who got these perfect dogs in these shows, acting like these dogs ain't the same dogs that these brothers was going in the squares with. Same exact damn dogs, man. Don't let nobody damn fool you. Don't let nobody fool you. And if it wasn't the same dogs, their dogs ain't that much gamer to say there is something different. They acting like they got super game dogs on this level, and these brothers over here got dogs that ain't game at all. Half the dogs in the dog community is mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Mediocre. So you have no room to knock any of them brothers that's going and doing them shows and that type of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, fresh water, fresh food, it does the body good when it comes to them puppies. And any dog, you know what I'm saying? Any dog, keeping the area clean as you can. We all know different foods gonna make the dogs use the bathroom a certain amount of times, and you can't keep it as clean as you want to keep it. But just keep it as clean as you can, because all that matters at the end of the damn day. You know what I'm saying? And y'all have a good day. Y'all have a safe day. PBK9s. Y'all stay legal, and I'm out.